Good afternoon. My name is Diego Muniz. I want you to close your eyes and think about war. I want you to think about what happened during war. I want you to think about M16 fire, 240 Golf, 50 cal gunfire. I want you to think about mortar rounds landing 100 to 150 meters away from your position. What sounds the loudest? Mortar rounds. I'm a mortarman in the United States Marine Corps, and I have several experiences in firing and supervising a mortar platoon. As a mortarman, you want to find out how does it feel to have mortar rounds land near your position. On March 24, 2003, I was part of 2nd Battalion 8th Marine during Operation Iraqi Freedom 1, and I seen and I felt 5 rounds land near my position. To this day, I do not want to see rounds land near my position never again. Today, I want to inform you about the description, the components, the organization, and the general doctrine of the M252 81mm mortar. Let's start with the description of the M252 81mm mortar. The M252 81mm mortar is a smooth-bore, muzzle-loaded iron fire weapon. The M252 81mm mortar has several descriptions. As defined in the mortar gunnery, Field Manual 23-91, the mortar provides indirect fire support in the defense and in the offense for the battalion. The M252 81mm mortar also compromises between the light and heavy mortars. It ranges in explosive power is greater than the light mortar, 60mm mortar, yet it is still light enough to be man-packed over long distance. The M252 replaced the M29 Alpha 1 in the United States Armed Forces. The M252 81mm mortar can be broken down into 3 parts. Now that we've discussed the description of the M252 81mm mortar, let's go into the components of the M252 81mm mortar. The M253 barrel assembly, which has a black artillery device and weighs 35 pounds. The M177 mount, which is called a bipod, and has 3 mechanisms. One, the traversing mechanism that allows the mortar to move left or right 10 turns from the center. The second one, the elevation hand crank, which allows the mortar to move freely up and down for corrections on elevations or range changes. The last mechanism is the minor adjust, which allows the mortar to move to adjust in minor portions. The last component of the M252 81mm mortar is the M381 base plate, which seats in the M253 barrel assembly into the base plate. Now that we've discussed the components of the M252 81mm mortar, I'm sure everybody's wondering how does the organization works. The 81mm platoon consists of 68 enlisted and 1 officer. In the platoon, there's 2 sections and a fire direction center. In the section, there's 32 enlisted broken down into 4 guns, and each gun has 4 to 5 Marines. The Fire Direction Center is the brains of the 81mm platoon, which consists of 4 to 5 Marines. The platoon is located in a weapons company in the battalion. The key role of the 81mm platoon is to support the battalion in indirect fire in the offense and the defense. Now that everybody knows the organization of the M252 81mm mortar, let's look at the general doctrine of the 81mm mortar. The doctrine demands the timing and accurate delivery of indirect fire for the needs of the supporting units. All members of the indirect fire team must thoroughly indoctrinate with a sense of urgency. For mortar fire to be effective, it must be at the right time, at the right target, with the right projectile, with the right fuse. In addition, good observation is required to meet the needs of the supporting units. Mortar fire must be delivered by the most accurate means that time and tactical situation permits. To achieve the most effective massive fire, units should conduct a survey of all registration ports and targets and mortar positions. Mortar units must be prepared to handle multiple fire missions. They can also provide an immediate heavy volume of fire for a sustained period of rate. In addition, mortars are an air-required weapon which can provide illumination to the battlefield and smoke to screen and obscure a whole battalion. Being a Mormon is one of the best things that ever happened to me, and I'll never give it away to nobody. Now that everybody knows the description, the components and organization, and the general doctrine of the M252 81mm mortar, I'm confident that everybody knows and learned something today of my presentation.